Hello, Tristan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. Happy early Valentine's Day to you.
Happy early Valentine's Day to you too. Shoot, tomorrow I'm gonna make sure I post my favorite Valentine's Day song. You know what that song is?
What is it?
If you think you're lonely now, wait until tonight, girl. It's favorite Valentine's Day song.
Oh man. So no plans? Any plans? What you got going on?
Shoot, who I got to go to Valentine's Day with?
Everybody got somebody.
That's a lie. I don't.
Well, I do have plans. I will be spending my Valentine's with a special somebody. So
Well, congratulations to you.
listen, it's been a long time coming. I'm quite happy about this.
But your change has come.
There you go. Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. Anyways, let's get into it this week. Um, this past Sunday with Super Bowl, and the Eagles walked away with the win. I
Roll
think that,
Tide.
I think that was the first time that I've ever cheered for a football player from Alabama.
Roll Tide. Two of them, Smitty and Hurts.
I'm not saying those words because it's always War Eagle, but on Sunday it was Go Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
So they walked away with the win, very very big win. But during the halftime show, they brought out the one and only Kendrick Lamar, who is fresh off of his Grammy win, and he did a halftime show that I thought was an artistic masterpiece. I
Mm-hmm.
thought that his show really, but it went beyond the heads of many people. I
But
think,
Keandre, it was the worst show ever.
I was just about to get to that because the people that are saying that are the very ones saying it was not meant for. This show was the perfect exhibition of black culture, and I
They
loved
probably
it.
they mad because the halftime show when Kid Rock, Hank Williams Jr., Ted Nugent, and Lee Greenwood.
Well, that's they ain't what they got. And what's funny is Kendrick, he set the show up, let's play the American game. And then here are the people, these very same people, like being upset because he won't play the game. And he just showed you in the show that he's not going to play the game. But I thought overall, the whole thing from start to finish, I thought Samuel L. Jackson as both Uncle Sam, but I also thought that he was also been like an Uncle Tom as well. Like it's
I'll tell you what,
perfect artistic work.
I enjoyed this year's halftime show, and I enjoyed how artistically masterful it was. I also enjoyed how petty it was. Um, and I will say that I will go back to talking about that in a little while, but I didn't have my intellectual halftime show. Next, you won't believe. You will say, no, they won't never get him. He got too much controversy. If they want to see the best halftime show since Prince, I tell you, we need to get. I see if you can guess.
No, do tell me. I'm interested.
If now you might say, no, he beat Rihanna and he a
Chris
dirt
Brown.
bag. Listen, that
I
Negro will
think I
tear the
think Chris
stage up.
Brown. I think Chris Brown is due for redemption. I think that Rihanna forgave him, so
And we
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
and we forget how many hits he got. That man got. He can go back to 2005, popping. Excuse me, miss, with you. He can hit his 2010s hit. Would go crazy. The dude probably got at least 40 songs that anybody would know if he started singing it. But back to Kendrick. Um, yeah, like Serena Williams, who apparently had some kind of past fling with Drake. She up
Which
there
I didn't
crip
even know
walking.
about.
She crip walking or whatever, and then he teases a song like he ain't gonna sing it. He does his little two songs with SZA. Then all of a sudden he is singing that song, and then when the whole Superdome said A minor, I'm like, oh no.
The whole thing was just from start to finish masterful work by Kendrick. I think they picked the right guy for the right time at this moment in our history. I think he did exactly what he was supposed to do.
How Drake doing right about now? You think?
Drake is hurting, and I'm hurting for him because I was Team Drake, but
I'm still Team Drake. I mean, I don't understand. Like, what? I don't understand this. Just give me like a 1 minute, 30-second rundown. Why did Kendrick and Drake start beefing in the first place?
apparently Kendrick put out a song where he was saying like he was the king of rap, And so Drake rebuttal, and he put out a song pretty much saying like, "We don't know who the king is. It might be me. It might be you." And so Kendrick puts like another song saying, "There is no three. It's just me." And from what I've heard, it spiraled out from there.
Don't Drake
But
beat
they're
him
saying
in
that
record
Drake
sales?
started this. I don't think that Drake started it. I think that Kendrick started it because he wanted to be on top. Because when it comes to music, Kendrick is the better artist, right? But when it comes to being commercially successful, Drake is the better artist when it comes to that. Drake sells out, arenas and stadiums. Kendrick is a much better poet and writer. And so they were both at the top of their game. So I just feel like it was prone to happen. Like we as black people, for some reason, I discovered this. We as black people, for some reason, we can't seem to like help each other out. Like it's always, if I got success and you got success, I want to be better than you. I've experienced that in my own personal career when people that I pulled up, have like tried to tear me back down. It's like I want us all to be great together, but that's not the thinking of a lot of our people in our community.
So basically, folks that made Kendrick and Drake, Whitney and Mariah, pretty much like one of them has probably the better singing voice in the artistry, but the other one is the one that's killing the other one in sales.
Yeah, pretty much.
Makes
From
sense.
from what I've seen from my research, people really can't find like a definite point, but that's what they figured too. Like when they put out the album, trying to figure out who's like the better artist because they're both at the top of the game. They're both at the same level. I don't know. I feel like they're better together. I hope that comes to a point when they can
If you look
squash
at
off
record
that.
sales, it's Drake, point blank.
That's what I'm saying. Drake is a much better commercial artist, but Kendrick is a better poet, better writer. So he has better artistry, I think.
That sound about right.
But
Yeah.
I think they're better together. Like look at Poetic Justice. That is an amazing song. I wish we had more of that and less of like the diss tracks.
Well, that I think them collabing anyway. That's over with. That's gone.
I think so. Yeah.
At least, hey, they ain't released who shot you and hit them up and then kill each other. So at least we ain't got there yet.
No, this must be what it felt like for our grandparents around Biggie and Tupac.
Grandparents, they weren't that, our parents weren't that long ago. The 90s. My mom was in high
Grandparents,
school.
grandparents. My grandparents were probably in there. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna get off of that. Parents, maybe. But this must have been what it felt like. This is like our generation version of that, and it's nowhere near as intense.
Yeah, because Suge Knight and Diddy in jail, so everybody nobody dying.
All right. So overall, Super Bowl halftime show. I think it's the best they've done thus far. Hope they do more of that kind of thing in the future. I hope that more
I
black.
don't want to say all that now. I will say
I
that
hope that
they
more
have
black
time.
artists use their platform to send out a message. I
I
think
will
they
say the
need it.
best thus far. Ain't nobody ever beaten Prince in 07. That's the best Super Bowl show.
Well, let me rephrase that. In modern history,
I got
let's put it there. In modern history of this time, I don't think that anybody's gonna touch. Even though he surpassed Michael Jackson in views, I don't think anybody's gonna touch. The level of Michael and Prince, Whitney. Nobody's gonna touch that level. But I think for this time in modern history, it's one of the best ones we've seen thus far.
We can agree on that. Agree. All right.
All right, moving on to the White House again. Here we go. Elon Musk, or shall I say President Musk?
President Musk. No, not President Musk, because presidents are elected. Uh Emperor Musk, King Musk, Kaiser Musk, whatever you want to call him. He Kaiser. It's
There you
Germany.
go. The Führer Musk.
Führer. Yes.
He has been exercising a lot of unchecked power within our government.
He's a
He and his
despot, an autocrat.
his Doge program have been pretty much doing whatever the hell they want to, and the president's not stopping them.
He
And the
got your
reason,
information, he got my information, he got everybody's information.
hmm and the reason I put this on here is because they put out what did they put out? They did a press conference, right? And I thought that press conference was like the perfect way to summarize their relationship because you had Musk standing over Trump, and that's the way it's working. I mean,
That baby, this how that baby cussed at Trump. Did you see that thing?
I don't think he cussed me. He did tell him that
Wish you
he should
would
shut
shut
your
that
mouth.
shit. No, he said shut your effing mouth.
I didn't hear the effing part. I heard you
And
need to shut your mouth.
and Trump sitting there at the over there, at the rest just look like he a
And then he told him,
sidekick.
and then he told him that you're not the president. Now I'm thinking this is a kid, this is a baby. Where else would he have heard this if not his father?
His father, and it's crazy. This man is a South African citizen, he is not a United States citizen. I don't understand how we get into a world where someone who is not an American, you got a billionaire oligarch
Mm-hmm.
have an unchecked power, and then the right just sit there, don't think nothing wrong with it because, well, what he doing is aligns to my worldview. No, like this is literally democracy might have already ended, or at least in a way. Like, who would have thought a year ago that you would have this unelected non-citizen sitting here have an unchecked power over a lot of stuff. And then the sad part about it, they're talking about getting rid of birthright citizenship, which they can't do because of the 14th Amendment. While at the same time, you got a non-citizen running the country by fiat. It's crazy.
This is what gets me. This is what pisses me off. In the Republican Party, in the MAGA portion, you have people that are super anti-immigrant, right? We don't want immigrants in our country. But now it's showing, the truth is coming out. It was never about the immigrants. It was never about the migrants. It was about skin color. We don't want you brown immigrants here. The white one from South Africa, he can do whatever he wants to do.
Want to, yeah. It's crazy.
I think it's hypocritical.
And I know, slight thing, you saw what today they announced that they removing federal aid if you someone who wants PrEP or you want the HIV cocktail. So pretty much we back in the 80s now, as far as like just if you someone who ain't got insurance or you poor and you someone who's queer or you at some high risk for you a sex worker or whatever, if you got HIV, then too bad. And if you on PrEP and not get it, then if you ain't got your own insurance, good luck getting it. Next is insulin. Crazy.
Yeah. It's I was looking at the news and I was watching a lot of these Trump voters that are not having voters remorse. And it's so hard for me to feel any kind of sympathy for them because we fucking warned you.
Yeah, we warned
told you this would happen.
I mean,
it's like, and you didn't believe us. No, he's not going to do that. He talks a lot.
Like he trying to turn Gaza into Atlantic City. I told my friends who I said, look, your relatives in Dearborn need to really vote for Kamala. No, she just as bad as Trump. And it's voting for, I said, black folks been voting for lesser two evils for 100 years, 200 years. Time. How long as we could vote. But you got to sometimes vote for a lesser two evils because the worst of two evils will kill. So now you got this whole thing where he's trying to make Egypt and make Jordan take all these Palestinian refugees once he kicks them all out and try to turn it to Atlantic City. Because guess what? It's Trump. Oh, surprise. He wants to privatize it, commercialize it, and make a profit off of it. And then you got Netanyahu, who anyone with sense knows that he never had any kind of good faith intention of doing a real ceasefire. That was just something to get Biden out of office and not Biden gone. And guess what? Oh, we never had any good faith intention of keeping the ceasefire anyway. Like, it's almost a, when you do the same thing over and over again and you expect different results, everything we see happening, taking away women's rights, queer rights, the mess in Gaza, we told you what was going to happen. And now you're surprised that what we told you was going to happen is happening.
Mm-hmm. This is the thing that upsets me with a lot of Americans, especially those that are on the far left, those that are like the socialist crowd, those that are on our side, but they're like on the fringe. This is what upsets me about them. They failed to realize that this country was built on compromise.
Coalitions.
Okay? You're not going to ever get 100% of what you want. It's just not going to happen that way. But I think that 60%, 80% is a whole lot better than 0%.
But we got those of us who got our purity test that if this candidate doesn't check every single box, then the hell with him, I'm not voting for him. Like, and I don't know when our party got like, because we ain't used to be like this. You think Bill Clinton in 92 was probably to the right of a lot of voters, but they was tired of recession and they wanted George Bush out. Same thing with Obama. A lot of folks probably had apathy. Oh, I don't know if I voted for a black man, but I know that George Bush Jr. got us in a recession. I just lost my house. But now, what we got that, well, if a candidate does not check every single box that I The hell with them. No, forget coalition building, forget compromise. And you ever think that the candidate running as a centrist might get in office and actually be a liberal, but he got to try to win the votes of moderates? People don't know real politics anymore.
No, I had a guy tell me that I was surface level because I looked at it that way. The most important thing about a candidate is can they be elected?
Can they be elected? Because you can't govern if you're not elected. So
You can't
now,
do anything if you're not in office.
yeah, so now Kamala Harris and this Kamala Harris. Well, guess what? Kamala Harris ain't president. Trump is. Look at the crap shows going on right now.
So I hope that the lesson that is learned from this, I hope and I
hope.
pray that the people throughout the United States, we got to learn to stop voting with our hearts and start voting with our minds.
You know, folks hard-headed. Folks will, I tell you what'll happen. They'll kick Trump out. Well, Trump can't run again, but they'll vote for whoever over Vance in 2028. Then they'll have real short memories again and put Vance or some Trump clone in office in 32. I doubt that we'll ever have a two-term president again because our generation, one thing, this is the first, since 2020 was the first election that Gen Z, or I would say Zennials, because I'm not fully Gen Z, but Zennials and Gen Z.
We're millennials, but they group us in Gen Z officially.
Yeah, but Zillennials and Gen Z, the first ones that can fully vote in this list, 2020, 2024. We're so unserious, and we get all of our information off of TikTok and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. We don't know what the hell we're talking about. We ain't got no attention span. We only handle bites of information. So you could have old quack from his basement telling you what's going on, and you act like they walk the crime card like it's just a gospel. Well, Trump said that ain't his plan, and you believed him. So yeah, I think that I don't know. You had somebody make me a believer because I don't think we ever have a two-term president again. I think that our generation will vote whoever out who's a Republican, and then because Democrat can't give them every single thing off their checklist, then okay, well you failed us. And then you let the Republican get in office, and they reverse the most stuff. And we keep in this cycle.
Yes, a cycle.
You got to have more than one term of Democrat to reverse this stuff. You can't just keep throwing Democrat out every 4 years. Think you're gonna go back to That's not how this works.
Yeah, we have gone off on a tangent, but
it was a needed. It was a well-needed tangent.
I think the viewer can tell that we are quite passionate about this, and it's concerning. Going back to the topic, what Elon is doing, and I mentioned, and I think our first episode, I mentioned that the only check left in our democracy or our republic, whatever you want to call it, is the court.
That's
the only thing left that stands in the way of Trump having total power. And now, looking at the news, Trump is now teasing that he might just do what he want to do. He may just, skip over or overrule the court and do things his way anyways. And so at this point, it becomes a constitutional crisis because if at this point, what do you have? What rule of law do you have?
The Supreme Court could shut him down if they want to. This is the thing. Now, Justice Thomas, Justice Alito, if Trump set the world on fire, they would go for it. We know Jackson, Sotomayor, Kagan ain't going for that. So, hey, we gonna see Justice Barrett, Justice Kavanaugh, Justice Gorsuch, and Justice Roberts, Chief Justice Roberts. This is the time that we're going to finally see, more than any time before, is your primary fidelity to the Constitution or to party and ideology. Because they can't stop him, or they can put checks on him. Trust me, the Supreme Court can sit him down. But will they?
It's the question to be answered. And I don't know the answer to it. I don't know. Everything just you could go on something based on the past, but like with this situation right now with Trump, period, like there's nothing to base it on. It's just all out of whack. Everything is just messed up. The whole system's nothing's going the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah, people don't really prioritize. I'm an institutionalist to my heart. The last time a president tried this was FDR in the 30s with the court packing. You had most of those justices, a lot of them, or at least some of them, who were on his side ideologically. But almost like, it was Republican senators who told Nixon it's over with. Resign or we will impeach and convict you. You had folks back in the day that was more into institutions and more into the country over party. That they would say, "Hey, you might be on my party, but you're doing is crazy. It's unconstitutional.
Mhm.
Like, stop." That's gone. People are so now into I'm gonna win. I'm gonna own you. I'm gonna own the lives. I'm gonna own the whatever. Make you suffer. Make you lose. You gotta get all this control and power. They kill more by that. They will tear the whole thing apart just to feel. It's almost like my grandma used to say, uh, "You the king of a dumpster." That was one of knows, but she said you the king of pretty much a dumpster where you store trash and stuff that people don't want, and you the king. That means that you conquered everything, and then but then once you conquered everything, you find out that what you conquered ain't worth for nothing because ain't nothing but trash. So yeah, these folks are tearing it all apart and feel like they won some, and in the end they destroyed everything.
Now,
That's what we got
here,
going on now.
here is the thing. What is the point of being the captain if the ship is sinking?
Yeah, that's another phrase that she
And
used to use for folks.
our American ship is beginning to sink. And I can only hope that the courts will right us. I can only hope that they will stand their ground. They have no reason to kiss his ass, okay? They have their jobs for life. So
Lifetime tenure.
I hope that they will stand the ground. They will preserve what's left of our democracy.
Then them old folks have some crazy phrases. The king of a dumpster or the captain of a sinking ship.
Listen, my grandfather spoke to me in riddles all the time. You could hardly ever figure out what he was saying. He would tell you something, you have to go home and think about it. That's how they. That's how old people are.
Yeah.
Um, but moving on, as we get ready to wrap up, you and I make a prediction in one of our episodes. We thought that our RFK Jr. would not get the votes to
I was
become the
wrong. I
Secretary
was real wrong.
of Health and Human Services. We were wrong, and I'm shocked.
And the first thing that you hear after and then Birmingham is in trouble
I was just about to get to that, but go ahead.
because UAB is one of the biggest, richest hospitals in the United States. See, that's what happened when you're so prejudiced and ideologically oriented that you will cut your nose, spite your face. So now the only reason why Birmingham has any kind of real economy or is really still somewhat of a major city. You know, we're not Nashville, Charlotte, or Atlanta, but we ain't Montgomery or Jackson either. So the only reason why we still so is because of healthcare and banking. So now they cutting what like 100 billion, some crazy amount, like $100 billion or something, 90 or something. The city can lose over a certain period of time from research funding that fund like UAB slotted. So yeah, so now uh you Kennedy gets confirmed, and then we hear about that because he's been attacking that before he got confirmed. You hear about cutting off Pepper, which people with AIDS or people who are trying to not get HIV. So yeah, I mean, I was wrong. I thought that people like McConnell or people like
Well,
uh,
McConnell voted no.
he did.
He voted no.
But how did Homeboy vote? The guy that I forgot his name, the senator, not Kennedy, but the other one from Louisiana, who was a doctor. Did he vote for him? I think he did, didn't he?
He
The
has
one that got there and acted like he was so concerned about uh, Cassidy, Senator Cassidy. I bet Senator Cassidy voted
the
for him.
only major Republican that flipped was McConnell, and that's because McConnell had a spike with polio growing up. So
Cassidy
he
voted for him.
realized the importance of vaccines. So he voted no because of that. But the rest of them,
Spineless. So you pretty. How did Murkowski and Collins vote?
I'll have to check the actual vote. I didn't look at it all the way, but if I'm not mistaken, the only major one to flip was McConnell. They didn't mention Murkowski or Collins, and usually they'll mention those ones that are like major Republicans.
Hey, at this point, look. At this point, I don't know if you ever heard that song "Young
But I'm
Heart
checking
Carefree."
now.
So what?
I'm checking right now to be sure.
But at this point, I agree with Candace Stanton. Self-preservation is what's really going on today. Because at this point, like it's barreling so fast. I'm thinking, okay, Am I good? Is my mental health good? Like, it might sound selfish, but at this point, like, it's almost like it's not you giving up, but it's almost like there's so much to keep up with every day that you get exhausted.
Yeah, I got you. By the way, I was right. It was just Mitch McConnell. He was the only one that voted against him.
That's a shame.
Only one.
Only one. Yeah.
And it's like we said, they're fucking over themselves. You voted this guy in, he's gonna kill you, right? Because your health's gonna be shit. Then you voted in I don't know exactly which department's doing this, but I know a lot of farmers voted, for Trump, and then now they're about to lose their little farms that they were voting to protect.
Look, God bless them. Listen, if you like it, I love it. That's another old black person. If you like it, I love it. Right? Don't be crying and say you getting what you voted for. Listen, I don't know why he told you he and the Heritage Foundation wrote up a whole manifesto, 400, 500 pages. Prior to 25, he told you what he was gonna do. We told you that he wasn't playing. We told you what he was gonna do. He told you, and now that he's doing what he said, you surprised? Why are you surprised? He doing what he told you and what you voted for.
That's it. So the lesson from this episode: elections have consequences. We've got 2 years to try to just halt him, because there's nothing more.
And I add something.
To get it back some power.
Being ignorant got consequences. You don't want to listen to nobody, and you don't want to research.
So going forward, to our listeners, to our viewers, be smart about the way that you vote. Stop voting with your heart. Vote with your mind.
Your
look
brain.
At what you can get and look at what you can't get, because you're not going to get 100% of everything you want. But like I said earlier, I think 60% is a whole lot better than zero. And right now we got zero.
And to some of our people on the right, not all of them, but some of them, stop voting based on your prejudices, because you're messing yourself up.
It's like I said, for everybody, stop voting with your heart, vote with your mind. That's it. That's the lesson of this episode for this week. We thank you for listening. Tristan, anything else you want to add?
Nope.
All right. Well, y'all have a very happy Valentine's Day. Happy Friday. And we will see you guys next week. The first upload for KC Unfiltered goes up on Tuesday of next week. So tune in to our YouTube channel. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Until next week, be blessed.